Ladies, books, and MB folks, welcome back to Brownlow Books. I am so happy that this book was my 400th book on Goodreads. I mean, I haven't always been recording on Goodreads, so it's not like my 400th book ever. It's just since I've been using Goodreads, okay? So, I absolutely love this book. I am so happy with it. So, I read Lula Dean's Little Library of Banned Books by Kirsten Miller. I have never read Kirsten Miller before. Is it Kirsten or Kirsten? Kirsten? Doesn't matter. Okay. I love this book. Basically, Lula Dean, up to no good all the fucking time, thinking she knows best for everyone, finds an offensive book in the library. It's erotic cakes. And goes through the library and all the school libraries, pulling all of the books that she thinks are offensive and, no good for our children. And in the meantime, she sets up a little library in front of her house where she's like, these are the good wholesome books that made me who I am as a person and I'm perfect. And whoopsie-doo. The covers get placed onto the banned books and the banned books go into the library. So yeah. Great premise. Fucking chaos and reckoning ensues as people pick up these books to read. I love it. I love it so much. That being said, I had a hard time at first getting into it because I was like, is every chapter going to be a new narrator? How many narrators do we have? We have a lot. Every chapter is a new narrator. It's basically all of the folks in this town, okay? So, know that going in, you'll be fine. I didn't know. I was caught off guard. Got to it. I will also say, this book has a lot of trigger warnings, okay? A lot. As I said, chaos and reckoning ensues. Yeah. Okay? We have got some full-on Nazi white supremacists. We have someone unaliving themselves, in a scene. We have, drug use and addiction. We have mental health issues. We have, sexual assault and harm caused that way. There is a lot. So, the cover of this book does portray it a little. It looks kind of fun, right? It is a fun book, but, you need to know that these things are going to be in there. They are going to happen. I recommend looking at Storygraph for that kind of thing, because people always tag it and, it's good. But yeah. There was nothing that upset me. So, take from that what you will. It's not like, this is the main focus, oh my god, it's so huge. It's just this is a thing that's talked about. Other than the unaliving, because that does actually happen in, a scene. But it's kind of, off-page, if that makes sense. Yeah. So, I just loved so many things about it, okay? I don't even know where to begin. I could literally go on forever, which is why I want to make this my next book club pick. I literally finished and I was like, okay, how long until I can read this again? What else is on my docket? What do I need to do? When am I reading this book again? And I was just like, I'm reading this book again in the next 5 months by putting it onto my my choice for our book club, which is done randomly out of the choice of 5 now at this point. So, when will I be reading it next? Who knows? But I'm gonna fucking read it again. And I'm like, it'll be the 3rd time I read it, because I stopped, I finished, and I was just like, I immediately want to read it again. I enjoyed it so much. Even the parts that hurt. Even the parts that hurt, I was just like, damn. And there were some parts that hurt, alright? I had 3 big ones, and I don't want to talk about one of them. But yeah, there's a guy in the book, Mitch Sweeney, who's a Hollywood actor, and he's just super right-wing, and so he comes back to town, it's his hometown, and he's like, oh, we gotta get this filth out of the library. And when he's talking to the Indian doctor from Queens, he was just they're talking about heritage, right, because he's a fucking white supremacist, and he's just oh, Irish with a little Scots, some have been here a long time, most came over during the famine, and I was like, that's my family tree. Great. Love that. So there was that. And I was just like, fucking what? But one of the big things for me was, I don't say one of our protagonists. Everyone is a protagonist in this. Our school board gal and one of the last descendants of the founder of this town, who was an awful human being who owned other people. She doesn't want him there, right? But her father was, like, big into doing, like, the family trees, the ancestry kind of thing. But he died, and it's all, like, male-focused, and she's like, where's the women? And so she starts, like, researching her women in her family tree, and she gets to a lot of women with children and no husbands or fathers connected to that person or their child. And so it kind of, like, got this thing in her of, like, I knew he was a bad person, but, like, I think whose blood runs through my veins? And I was just like, my grandfather's father is an unknown. It is a blank spot on my family tree. He was the same age as his youngest sibling. His oldest sibling was actually his mother, and he was raised by his grandma and grandfather thinking that it was that George and Janie were his parents. But in fact, his oldest sister, Millie, is actually his mother. And I think about that a lot, but, like, the way she said, like, whose blood runs through my veins, I was like, I've always had to tell myself that, like, oh, Millie was 18 and she was in love, and then he was like, nah, I got what I want, I'm gone. At, like, the best of circumstances, you know? And this made me kind of grapple with the worst of circumstances. And then I was like, whose blood runs through my veins? It is a big fucking unknown. So yeah, that weighed heavy on me. And then the third thing that weighed heavy on me is not a thing I am ready to discuss at all, because I had a really shitty week and I saw him and I don't want to talk about it. So this book is just chaos and reckoning. It's the best way I can describe it, of, like, someone thinks they can do best for other people. Nah. And then, like, just everyone in the town is on one side or another, and you get all these, like, little glimpses into these, like, personal lives. It's almost like a collection of short stories that go together, but, like, not, because it is actually, like, a solid line of, like, here's what's happening in this one plot, not like, oh, here's the plot, here's the plot, here's the plot, and we can get together at the end. No, it just goes. Like, this person does something, and it sets this off, and it sets this off, and it keeps going, and it's just, like, balloon enormous. This whole town is just, like, on the news, and, like, everyone's like, ooh, what's happening down there in Georgia? It was Georgia, wasn't it? Yeah, it's Georgia. Fuck me, my brain. So, yeah. Despite some heavy shit in it, I do truly love it. Who should read it, Charlotte? Everyone! I mean, the people who should read it are going to be the people who are not going to read it, because they're going to think it's filth and smut and... Smut? There's no smut. They're going to think it's filth. They're going to go, how dare you put these ideas into our children's heads? Well, guess what, bitch? It's an adult book! So yeah, I truly love this. Somehow on Goodreads, this only has 7,600 ratings, which is surprising to me, because I feel like I was seeing it literally everywhere in my book groups, and everyone was giving it 5 stars, and I was just like, I think I need to read this now. I bought it when I saw it as an ARC, I entered for the ARC, I didn't win the ARC, I pre-ordered the book. That's how much this attracted me to it, okay? I was just like, yeah, let's fucking get this shit going. So yes, I feel like I'm seeing it everywhere, but, like, somehow only 7,000, over 7,000. But it does have a 4.23 star rating on Goodreads. And normally I don't trust Goodreads all that much, but I fucking trust it for this, because this is absolutely a 5-star read for me. I want everyone to read it, and I'm probably gonna make some people read it. Love it. Love it so much. It has just got a little bit of everything. And it's just like, you know, you think about people who try to ban books and you're just like, what fucking idiots. And it's got that. But like, I don't want to say you're sympathetic to them, and I don't want to give away how it ends at all. I think that is a big pleasure point of the book, is how this book ends. It is amazing. It's got a lot going on, and it's got all sides, it's got all different kinds of viewpoints, it's got all different kinds of people, and boy howdy do I fucking love it, y'all. I fucking love it. So, yes, I just think everyone should read it. Especially if you're, you know, fuck book banners. Yeah. That's all for today. Thanks for hanging out, and I'll see you around next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe.